Hey, y'all, and welcome to day 38 of the WSOP and the fourth annual WSOP and All Vegas Poker Daily Spaces coverage. I'm Sherry Pliscota, aka Peaches, aka the White Oprah of the poker community. Please be reminded that we will always try to give the most updated and accurate information possible, but we are human and the information is always fluid in the poker world. So please make sure to double check any information we provide to ensure yourself the best experience possible. And please correct us if we're wrong. We want to get it right. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Sherry Pliscota 9212, where you can find the recordings of my daily spaces and interviews. And there is no cost to following me and subscribing to my channel. Coming to you from the beach on the panhandle of the Gulf Coast. Looking forward to spending some time outside today at some point, outside the Bat Cave, as I like to call it, aka the casino, for those that are new and joining us. Scotty, I see you in the audience. Just to let you know, we have you scheduled for the 10 o'clock segment. You're more than welcome to visit with us. But we're going to take care of some business before we get to your segment. I just wanted to let you know that in case you need to get some other things done and want to come back. I don't want any confusion about that. But welcome, Scotty. I'm glad you're with us this morning for sure, as well as I see Matt is there and Hayden and Joseph. Appreciate all of you joining me this morning and joining us this morning. Hey, Joey, how are you, pal?
Awesome. I'm jealous that you're in the panhandle.
I hear you. It's been quite a whirlwind from Vegas to Georgia to here. So, but we got here and having some fun with my kids and my grandbaby. And it's what life is really about, Joey. You know what I mean?
Oh, I totally get you 100%.
Loving it. Loving it. All right. Let me get some stuff out of the way so we can get to Joey's poker lesson here in just a few minutes. Um, I wanted to talk about what's happening over at the Venetian today. The ladies' event is going to the final day and final table. It will be live streamed at 1 p.m. And you can find that link on the Venetian website or I'm pretty sure they have it on all their social media, including Twitter. That is the ladies' $2,500 buy-in. There were 122 entries. There are 7 left going into the final table today. And right now, they're all guaranteed $8,800. First place is $69,000. 19 got paid in total. And our final table looks like this. Ying Zhu has 1.4 million in chips. Daria Krashenkova, I believe, is in second place. And I don't know why I didn't hold on. I got to check the picture. I didn't write down her chip stack size, but I have a screenshot of it. And she has just under 1.2 million in her chip stack. So that's exciting. And then we have a friend of mine, JJ Liu, a crusher for many years, has 925,000. Friend of Spaces, Haley Hanna is in fourth place with 915K. And Yujing Ju, I hope I'm saying that correctly, has 794,000. Kayla Clackham has 743,000. And Nancy Birnbaum, you may remember her name from the seniors event final table. Nancy Birnbaum has 169,000. So good luck to those ladies today over at the Venetian. Again, that's a $2,500 buy-in ladies event. So good luck to all of them. Over at the Venetian, no, I'm sorry. Over at the Aria, we're going to do some winners around town. And over at the Aria Poker Classic, Matthew Provost came in first place in the Mystery Bounty Tournament. Excuse me, $1,100 buy-in, $71,000, which included his bounties for his efforts. So congrats to Matthew. Over at the Win, Hayim Wannabe, I love this last name, Wannabe, Took down the $1,100 turbo tournament for 46,000. Igor Dursel, in a heads up deal, took down their $1,100 no limit tournament for 84,000. So congrats to those winners. Over at the Venetian, Leon Quack, I think is how you say it, Quack, took down event number 71. My throat is nuts. Took down event number 71, the $600 bounty, 10K in winnings plus bounties. Or at South Point, Lance took down the 08 2 p.m. tournament for $2,300. So congrats to them. If you're playing the main event or know somebody that we want to follow or rail for the main event, let us know because we like to keep up with that, especially if it's a spacer from, the last 3 years. I know Reno Grinder is going to play it and Aaron Baroni's playing it and Karen Chess, congrats to her, won a satellite yesterday and she'll be playing it as well. So again, if you're playing it or know somebody that you think we should follow or rail, let us know. We love that kind of stuff. Wanted to make mention the player of the year race. Sean Deeb is currently in first place with 2,816 points. Alex Foxen in second with 2,721 points. Kahari is in third with 2,630 points. Josh Arie has 2,601 points and, of course, is in fourth place. Nick Schulman is in fifth with 2,550 points. Benny Glazer has 2,493 points. Josh Rickard has 2,385 points. Pearsonen, no, I'm not saying that right, has 2,318 points. Our favorite Martin Zumani has 2,210 points. And bringing up 10th place is the Grinder with 2,052 points. And honestly, any one of those people can win the main event and become the player of the year. The points are so close. I haven't really paid that close of attention as to how many points are being awarded for what, or whatever. But it seems like they're all close enough that the winner of that main event could end up being the player of the year. Am I right in that thinking? ASG, welcome.
Well, and there's also Bahamas.
Oh, and Bahamas. Thank you for reminding me of that because, of course, for the first time that I know of, we're counting some events that are after the WSOP. So, thank you for that. Appreciate that reminder. Okay, anybody got any comments about the Player of the Year race? Joey, ASG, anybody in the audience? Come on up.
I just wanted to comment that even D brought him up himself that despite being first in player of the year, he's down hundreds of thousands of dollars this summer. I mean, you could say what you will about what player of the year means. I have your opinions.
Right. No, I mean it's no joke. They're going through bankrolls to get Player of the Year. Is it worth it? Is it what is that investment for in the long run? How does that benefit them? I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. For sure. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, and at some point, I would love for them to come out with the mid stakes player of the year, like cap buy-ins at like 1,000, let's say. So anybody that earns points has to be earned in an event that's under 1,000, and everybody else, or maybe even cap it at 10,000, so the main event counts. But a mid player race, that would a mid stakes player, that would be something incredible because not all of us can go to World Series of Poker in Europe and Bahamas,
Right. And I think that's, like the Run Good series has a Player of the Year, and they are definitely a mid major series. And I'm glad that he does do Player of the Year. I think that's a great way to catapult people to the next level and acknowledge their accomplishments. Very important. Very, very important for sure. All right, let's look at something I did kind of quickly this morning. I made mention of it a week or two that I was going to take a look at it because I think it's important to discuss. And I really feel like it was really becoming more of something to focus on or consider when deciding what tournaments to play, and that's the daily deep stacks. The daily deep stacks have taken a turn. And when I say taken a turn, they've kind of grown into these massive, these massive entries and prize pools. Like in the past, when I did dailies, if you got between 2 and 300, that was a lot of people. And if you ever got to 400 or more, it was like, wow, crazy numbers. And so I started to look at this morning. And for the first 2 weeks of the WSOP, I just took a look at the 1 p.m. $250 daily and the 4 p.m. $400 daily for those first 2 weeks of the WSOP. So I have the top 3 attendant tournaments for those 2 dailies for the 14-day period of time. So for the $250 daily, the top entered tournament was event number 146, had 1,529 entries. Crazy for a daily deep stack. 1,529 entries for a $305,000 prize pool. The second tournament was event number 152, which had 1,122 entries for a prize pool of $224,000. Third was event number 188, had 1,100 entries for $220,000 in the prize pool. Those numbers are insane. That's insane for a daily. The 4 p.m. daily, $400 buy-in, 2-week period of time. Most entries was event number 148, had 381 entries for a $125K prize pool. Event number 142 was in second place with 311 entries, $102,000 prize pool. Third was event number 190, 238 entries, $78,000 in the prize pool. Sorry, I had to stop and look at my notes. Sorry, you guys. Okay, then I stopped after the first 2 weeks and I scooted down to look at the last week. So just the last 7 days of those 2 daily deep stacks, the 1 p.m. 250 and the 4 p.m. 400. The $250 daily, the most the most entries was for event number 364, had 1,838 entries for $367 in the prize pool. Then event number 358 had 1,647 entries for $329,000 in the prize pool. Event number 373 had 1,599 entries, $319,000 in the prize pool. That's a $250 entry. Come on, people. All right. Now looking last 7 days, the $400 daily 4 p.m. tournament. The tournament that got the most entries in the last 7 days was event number 376, which had 884 entries, making the prize pool $291,000. Second place was 360, event number 366, which had 795 entries for $262,000 in the prize pool. Event number 360 had 627 entries, the prize pool $206,000. That's a lot of value for $400, people. $400 entry, $291 in the $1,000 in the prize pool. And just the fact that those numbers have gone up all summer long, from the way it looks, just at a quick glance this morning, everybody's seeing is seeing the value in those dailies. So just wanted to get that information out there so that when you're making a decision about what you want to play or not play, you may consider those dailies. So ASG, any thoughts on those numbers?
Well, they've been like that for a while. I think they have like, also you might want to consider for value one. If you make the final table, you'll probably be there till like 4 a.m. So consider that when you're going to play the next day. That
Right.
basically maybe you don't want to play the daily the day before, even if you think that you have this free on your schedule. And then two, a lot of these tournaments are like, I want to say like 25% rake, 20, like they're definitely in the 20s somewhere, I think.
They are a big rig. If you could look that up real quick, I'd appreciate it. Just those two, the 250 and the 400, that'd be great. Joey, what do you think?
Yeah, I've been studying these because I've had a lot of runners in them, and I have not played the 250 daily myself, but I had a lot of students in there, and it seems the sweet spot is coming in when the blinds are around 300, 500, because you don't have to play short. Believe it or not, they start off slow, these tournaments. Like, they actually start off shorthanded, and everybody seems to show up late, and because they know it's going to run until 4 o'clock in the morning, and that's a great point that ASG brought up. Right? The 4 o'clock, the 4 p.m. and the 1 p.m. kind of end about the same time, and they are just. Next year, I'm going to put major focus on doing them because why not? I mean, if you think about your normal WSOP stop, like a circuit stop, a 50K guarantee costs $400 to enter. Just keep that in mind, right?
That's
That's your
right.
normal. Yep.
That's right. And like I was talking to a pro last summer who made a very valid point about the daily deep stacks. And that is he can enter this daily deep stack that has a prize pool of 291,000. So first place is probably with 30,000, let's say, and be done with that tournament in one day, 12 hours, 14 hours, and it's only $400, or he can spend way more money to be in a tournament that's 2 weeks long. Like he's like, I could play 10 of these daily deep stacks in a short period of time, right? So it is about perspective. Of course, it's about the bottom line too, that prize pool. So here we are. Got to look at them though. Got to consider them, folks, for sure. All right. I am going to turn this over to Joey Gargiulo, who I believe is going to talk to us about tempo change today. Am I right?
Um, Yeah, we're all over the map. Actually, so we skipped tempo change. We're going to shelf for another day because yesterday
Okay.
I did announce a lesson about bluffing again. All
Perfect.
right.
Perfect.
Um, and now, so I've written about bluffing and like the poker dance, and it's more the philosophical side, but I want to talk about the technical side of bluffing because I've done a lot of research on this. I have a lot of coaching on this. So today's lesson is called the bluff waltz, like the chapter in my book, but we're going technical. So a bluff is we're not talking about the bluff shove. We're not talking about the bluff punt, the bluff prayer. We're talking about bluff actually has rhythm to it. It has structure. Bluffing has timing, and it has a beginning, middle, and end. So a bad bluff says, please fold. Like that's all a bad bluff is asking. Please fold. It's like a prayer, right? But a good bluff basically says, based on everything I've represented, this bet belongs here. If you're going to bluff the best of the best in the world, and that's the goal, your bluff has to be able to get through, make sense to the best of the best players in the world. Like, make them think in their head, obviously, I have to fold because obviously Sherry has this monster. All right. So, the technical truth about bluffing is the bluff must fit the story, right? It has to, right? Um, Doyle Brunson said things like poker is war. People pretend it's a game. And he also said the key to no limit hold'em is to put a man to a decision for all his chips. If he was here now, he would say a man or a woman to the test for all of their chips. These quotes matter because bluffing is not about being tricky. People think it's about being tricky. It's not. Technically, bluffing is about applying pressure at the point where your opponent's range feels uncomfortable, right? But the pressure has to have logic behind it. So before we bluff, we're going to ask 5 questions. The first question is, can this particular opponent fold? That's the most important question, because you could shoot the most amazing bluff, but if you're shooting it into somebody who's a calling station, egomaniac, especially with a big chip stack that just likes to bully people around, somebody who's not paying attention to the story, they're just paying attention to their cards, the bluff is not going to get through. So from a technical standpoint, the first question you have to ask, is this opponent bluffable? Are they paying attention? The type of players that can fold are the thinking players, right? The other type of player that easily can fold are the tournament survivors, the grinders. They could fold. A lot of medium stacks. So if you have a medium stack and there's another medium stack, we don't want those clashes. They can fold. But, on the other hand, we're talking about these dailies, and in the dailies, you have a lot of sticky recreational players that just fall in love with third pair in a dream. You're never getting them to fold. All right. It's very, very rare. So step 1 is opponent selection. Right. Remember, we're not bluffing cards. We're bluffing people. Like Doyle said, poker is a game of people, not just a hand that you hold. That's really important. The second question we always have to ask is, what range am I representing? Look at the button, look at your seat, look at where you are. Remember the pre-flop action. Were you the pre-flop aggressor or were you the defender? Because those are 2 different ranges, aren't they, right? This is where a lot of amateur bluffs fall apart, right? So, a brand new player would ask, well, they would say to themselves, I missed, so I should bet here. No, that's not a bluff. That's like emotional leakage. It really is. A bluff has to represent a real value range. So if you raise pre-flop from an early position and it's an ace-high flop, whether you have an ace or not, your opponents can 100% believe that you have an ace because an ace is supposed to be in your range. A big ace is supposed to be in your range. And if the turn card comes a king, your story becomes even more believable. You could be sitting there holding jacks, but your story makes sense. Okay? On the other hand, if you defend a big blind and the flop comes out ace high, well, I don't know if people are really going to believe you. You might have raised pre-flop if you had a big ace there, right? But if the board comes out 6, 7, 9, well, I 100% am going to believe that the big blind or the small blind smacked that the deck smacked them in the head, because those are in the blind ranges. So remember, it's about ranges. It's really important, right? And on a side note with bluffing, there is a technical side of bluffing. Like solvers will suggest bluffs now. The algorithms actually contain bluffs. And if we go back to the roots of where solvers come from, if you've read any of Davis Clancy's books, especially Theory of Poker, he mentions bluffs in there because there are technical reasons for bluffing and they make sense mathematically. And we're going to get to the math in a few minutes. The third question you have to ask is, does the board texture support the bluff? Okay. So it's not just the ranges, but it's also the texture, right? And this is where blockers come into play. And which is actually the next thing that you have to ask yourself, like what blockers I have. And let's actually get right into that. Blockers are so damn important. They're not magic, they're not permission slips, but blockers mean you hold a card that reduces the number of strong hands your opponent can have. So if you have a 10 in your hand, the Jack 10 and the 9-10 combos are less likely to be in your opponent's hands. It doesn't mean they don't have them, but there's more of a chance that they don't, right? So it's really important that we pay attention to the blockers. A bad player just says, I have the blockers, so I have to bluff. No, 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 no. A good player says, I have the blockers. My line makes sense. The board favors my range. The texture favors my range. This opponent can fold because my size creates some pressure here with my bet. So blockers are an ingredient, but not the whole recipe, right? But the most important question is the math. And this is, I think, where a lot of people get confused, right? You have to ask yourself, what price am I laying down, right? Because every bluff has a break-even point. So I'm going to say this a little slowly, and that's why I rushed everything else, because I have to go slow with the math, but I know everybody will get it, okay? The bluff risk divided by total pot after your bet is the formula. In other words, if the pot is 10,000 chips or $10,000, I don't care what it is, it's 10,000 units, and you bet 5,000 units, you're risking 5,000 to win 10,000 so after the bet, the pot is 15,000, right? So all we do is take that $5,000 bet and we divide it by 15,000, and that's 33%. That's the equity, right? So that means, and this is where people miss it, that means our bluff only has to get through 1/3 of the time to work because of the amount of chips we win. We're betting 5,000 to win 10,000. If it doesn't work once, no big deal. We're down 5,000. If it works the second time, now we're even, you see? You win 5,000. If it works the third time, then you're up 5,000 in that formula. If it works all 3 times, well, you're up a lot. But it only has to work based upon your equity in the pot. Now, if the pot's 10,000 and you shoot a 10,000 chip bet out as a bluff, well, now your bluff's got to work 50% of the time. The size of the bluff depends on the tolerance of your opponent. That's why question number 1 is, who am I bluffing? So every player has that break point. Some players that are very timid and medium stacked, well, you don't need much to bluff them off their hand. Most pros who are paying attention, it doesn't take much to bluff them off of the pot. Matter of fact, the bigger bluffs look more bluffy than the smaller bets. And we've seen that, right? We've seen pro versus pro, where one pro puts out a 2 big blind river bet and the other the pro folds because they said, we just saw this the other day where they said to himself, well, I'm not beating much, right? Like the Chewy hand. If you saw Chewy and his opponent had the same hand, what am I beating here? So a little bet can be just as effective. It depends on your opponent. Now, if you're up against a short stack that is just like wants to get on a rebuy line, there's probably no amount you're going to be able to bluff them. They're just going to call you. So the importance is there. Now, if the pot's 10,000 and you overbet the pot 15,000, your bluff needs to work 60% of the time, right? So this is the math, and this is why sizing matters. Small bluffs need to work less often, but they apply less pressure. Big bluffs apply more pressure, but they need more folds. And that really, in a nutshell, is the mathematical, technical side of bluffing. And don't feel bad about bluffing. I know, like, people are like, well, bluffing is out of character for me because it's like lying. It is 100% part of the game, especially the semi-bluffs. Ooh, the semi-bluffs. That should be a whole nother lesson one day. But basically, the semi-bluff is The easiest way to describe a semi-bluff is when you're on the turn, let's say, and you still have outs. You still have a flush draw, the nut flush draw. You still have a straight draw. The semi-bluff is very, very powerful, and that will be a lesson for another day. But right now, just keep in mind that there really is math behind bluffing, and we'll leave it off at that. Let's get on with the show here.
Well, I appreciate that lesson, Joey. And I want you to go over that math one more time for our listeners. I want you to go over that math again. If there's a $10,000 bet,
Okay, so that's it.
go ahead.
The pot is 10,000.
Or the pot is 10,000.
Okay,
Thank you. Go ahead.
the pot is 10,000. All right. So if I bet 5,000, now the pot becomes 15,000. Right. 5,000 is 1/3 of the pot now. Right. So 5,000 into 15,000 is 33%. That means that our bluff only has to work 1/3 of the time. And I'll give you an example. Let's say we bet the 5,000 and the person calls us and we lose. We're down 5,000. The same scenario happens. $10,000 pot. We have 5,000. We bet 5,000. Our opponent folds. We just won a 15,000 pot. There was 10,000. We just made a $5,000 profit. Now we're even. The third time, the bluff gets through. We made 5,000 profit. So it only really has to work 1/3 of the time, because when it works 1/3 of the time, we win a big pot. If that makes sense, right? The pots can get really, really bloated. Now, if it's a $10,000 pot and you're betting 10,000, now you have a 20,000 chip pot. Okay, to win 20,000, you're risking 10,000. So if you won one and lost the other, you're even. Does that make sense? You won 10,000, lost 10,000. That one's probably easiest to describe. So it only has to work 50% of the time.
Right
50% of okay, that makes sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I just wanted you to go over it one more time.
Okay, cool.
I appreciate that. And what are you going to teach us about tomorrow, bud?
Tomorrow we are getting into wow, I can't believe tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the river dance. The river. Okay, the magical river where dreams are made and dreams are lost.
As I like to say, you either sink or swim in the river. Go ahead, ASG.
Yeah, just wanted to add to the bluffing. You have to also realize what you're targeting with your bluffs the same way with your value. Like if the flop's ace king 4 and you have pocket sixes, are you trying to bluff an ace or bluff a king or bluff an underpair? And that also affects how large your bet's in or whether your bluff is going to be effective.
Right, 100%. That makes a lot of sense too. 100%.
Perfect. Thank you for those added remarks, ASG. Appreciate you. Appreciate that lesson, Joey. And we will look forward to your lesson tomorrow on the river dance. Will we have to get our costumes out and pretend to be Irish tomorrow? Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe.
Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hey, Sherry, good to talk to you, and good to see everybody out and about. How you doing this, I believe, morning over there?
Doing well, thank you. Doing well. You doing okay, bud?
Yeah. Good, thanks. Yes, we're nearly at the finishing line with the project we've been doing. We're just waiting to see whether we're going to get the go ahead to get people moved in, and then we're going to be all good to go.
Excellent. Glad to hear it, buddy. All your hard work's paying off, Matt.
Thank you. It's just the health situation I need to sort out, but I'll get there all being well, and then hopefully I'll be able to donate again and save many lives.
Awesome. Love that project. Absolutely love that project. You should be so proud of yourself.
Thank you. And also to the teams that we've been having as well. Actually, I've been listening to Joey's poker lessons while I've been doing my rounds, and they're very inspirational as well. It's taught me a few tricks about the old poker rules, and certainly got me going. Anyway, I'm thinking of downloading the the WSOP app, not the one that you can watch poker on, but the one where you can play
Yes.
free poker.
Yep. I don't know if you'll be able to play it or how it works over there, but give it a try. That'll be great progress. Joey, did you have something you'd like to say, bud?
No, I was just hiding. That's all I was doing.
All right. No, I just thought you may have wanted to respond to him. I wanted to give you
Yeah.
the chance.
Well, Matt, I really do appreciate you, and it's I can't even imagine what time it is there right now, too.
It's only about 6 in the evening, 5 in the evening.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
But we appreciate when he listens on my Friday nights when I start at 7:30 and it's midnight there.
Yeah, right.
I like to be dedicated and show my fellow. Well, I'm not going to say fellow Americans, but you know what I mean. To show you lovely people how much I enjoy the chats. So the guests you've had, Sherry, are really good, and
Thank you.
they're just nice to talk to actually. Because I mean, you see them competing and you think, yeah, they're really competitive, but it's like sports stars. I've met a few sports stars, and they're really down to earth, which is good to see.
I love it. And I love that that's a component of what we do here. I mean, that is probably one of the biggest driving forces why I love doing spaces and interviewing people is the fact that we can bring folks from all over the world into a conversation that they may never have had in their lifetime without it. And it's in real time, and you're getting to meet people that your paths may never cross in real life, but yet here they are crossing, and you have a chance to talk to each other. Like, I love that.
There's definitely something in the air when you know you've spoken to a well-known famous person. This makes a huge difference.
Well, I appreciate that, Matt. I'm glad you're enjoying it for sure. Definitely helps keeping me motivated to hear. So appreciate that. All right, let me talk about some things that are going on around town today at the WSOP and at other venues around town. So over at South Point at 10:10 a.m. is their no limit $120 buy-in, 15K guarantee. At 1400 hours and 10 is their day 2 of their tournament. Their no limit tournament at 1810 is their no limit $200 buy-in, 20K guarantee. And then at 22 hours and 10 is their turbo bounty tournament. $25 bounties, $120 buy-in, 4K guarantee. Excuse me. Over at the Orleans today at 11 is main event day 1C. Sorry, my throat is acting crazy. Main event day 1C, $600 buy-in, $500,000 guarantee. At $1,600 is their satellite into the main event, $120 buy-in, no guarantees. At $1,700 is their day 1D of that main event. Over the Grand, MGM Grand, at 11 o'clock is their Heroes, and that's HEROS tournament, $600 buy-in, 50K guarantee. And then their bounty tournament is at $1,800. Their bounty is 50, $250 buy-in, 10K guarantee. Over at the Aria is their turbo satellite to the main, $400 buy-in, 5 seats guaranteed. Starts at 9 o'clock. At 12 p.m. over at the Aria's main event day 1B, $3,500 buy-in, $4 million guarantee. Over at the Venetian today, 10:10 is their no limit tournament, $1,100 buy-in, $200,000 guarantee. And of course, I spoke about it earlier. They are going to have their 1 p.m. Was it 1 p.m.? Yeah, 1 p.m. live stream of that ladies' final table. Also at the Win today is their no limit tournament, 12 p.m. start, $1,100 buy-in, 250K guarantee. At 1 p.m. is their PLO Mystery Bounty Day 1B, $3,000 buy-in, $2 million guarantee. And at 1,800 hours at the Win is their Turbo Tournament, $1,100 buy-in, 100K guarantee. That's what's going on around town. Don't forget Mandalay Bay at 1 and 8 p.m. They have a $60 buy-in, no guarantee, 10K stack, starting stack, 15-minute blinds over at Mandalay Bay. Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, thank you, Sherry. I was just going to ask you. The Player of the Year points that you were on about there.
Yes.
It might be a silly question, but you probably might have spoke about it. But how does the points ranking work?
Okay, so the points are based on, and ASG, correct me if I'm wrong, they're based on the buy-ins. And they are based on where you finish in the tournament. Is there any other calculation in there, ASG? He may have had to step away.
Field size.
Say that again, hon?
Field size.
Oh, and field size. Thank you. So the number of entries, the price or buy-in for the tournament, and where you finish, Matt.
So
Right,
specifically, they got this whole formula. It's C, which is the multiplier based on their finish, times the 4.5th root of the buy-in, multiplied by the natural log of the rank ratio, which is the final rank plus total entries. You take that natural log and you multiply that to the 1.7th power, and that's how you get your player points for each tournament. And then they add your top, I want to say 15 results of those live entries, and that's how they get the points. So there is a calculator on the POI website where you can take the buy-in and the total entries, and it'll calculate for you how many points you get for first, second, third, fourth, final table, etc.
Well, and I'm so glad ASG was able to make that as clear as mud for us.
Well, that formula is what it is.
Of course. And ASG loves that shit because he's an accountant. So that's speaking his love language right there. Or engineer. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, an engineer. So that's speaking his damn love language over there. Just all that shit he just said, that's how they calculate it. There you go.
I haven't done natural log since college. I don't even remember how that works. I just know LN with parentheses is natural log. I couldn't even tell you what that means anymore.
When you started rattling that off, I'm like, holy smokes, dude. Like, what? Okay, I'm glad you understand all that because I certainly barely do. So anyway, thank you for that. Matt, you got all that written down for yourself, Matt?
I've got a little bit of it now, but it was a bit too fast. I've got the gist of it now, though. It seems to be a lot more easier, although, like you were saying earlier, it did sound a little bit clear as mud, but now the mud has certainly gone now.
Well, let me just give you a little hint. Ask ASG or go over to the website and just type in Poker Player of the Year race, and it'll come up and you can find that calculator he was talking about there. Or just ask ASG because that is his love language. He loves to talk about all that crap, and I love him for it.
You know what? Me as well. Thanks, ASG. I appreciate the info there.
And he is working, so we are going to just keep it moving. And let's talk about what's over at the you bet. Over at the WSOP today at 10 a.m., event number 81, day 1A of the Summer Celebration No Limit Tournament. $800 buy-in. Also at 10 a.m. is event number 78, day 2, and that is the $600 deep stack, $2.6 million in the prize pool, 5,177 entries, 556 remain, 282,000 waiting for the winner. And right now, MD Bicus is in first place with 1.4 million. Diago Gon Glaves DeSouza, I believe is how it's said, has 1.2 million in his chip stack. At 11 a.m. is event number 82, day 1A, which is the main event. Drum roll, 10K buy-in, and it's off and running today, folks. It's hard to believe it's that time of summer already, but it is. At 1 p.m., event number 76 takes off. That is the final day of the $100,000 high roller. There is 7.9 million in the prize pool, 83 entries, 5 remain, 2.2 million waiting for the winner. Christopher Frank is in first place. He is from the United States and he has 13.7 million. D Negs has 12.3 million. I think it's Yosaku. Mikey has 9.7 million. He's from China. Sternheimer and Martin Rosian is still in it to win it as well. At 11 a.m., event number 72, which is the 1K mini main, takes off again. 11 million in the prize pool, 12,560 entries, 9 remain. 1 million is waiting at the top for the winner. Jeffrey Evans is in first place. He's from the United States. He has 140 million. Akari 3 has 84 million, and he is, I'm assuming it's a him, excuse me if it isn't, is from China. At 12 p.m., event number 79 takes off for day 2, the $3,000 freeze out no limit tournament. 4.7 million in the prize pool, 1,792 entries, 226 remain. 683,000 waits at the top for the winner. Andrew Moreno is at, they didn't have all the chip stack sizes, so I don't know who the chip leader is. But some of the folks still in it to win it: Andrew Moreno, Cabrillo, Mormon. I don't know if they were having a hard time updating or whatever. So there you go. At 2 p.m., event number 80, day 2 is the 10K 8-game mixed, 1.4 million in the prize pool, 156 runners, 73 remain. Clayton Mosden is in first place with 343K. Nicholas Marchington has 327,000. Still in it to win it: Vitch, Kahari, Bryce Yockey, whoop, whoop. That's one of our horses for our fantasy league. Caitlin Comiskey is still in it to win it. So are Rast, Asmus, and Brunson. So good luck to those folks. At 1 p.m., event number 77 will see their final day. That is a $2,500 mixed triple draw tournament, 1.1 million in the prize pool, 508 runners, 18 remain, 223,000 is waiting for the winner. Chai Tang is in first place from the UK with 2.6 million. Andrew Kelsel is in second with 2.3 million. Eli Lesra has 1.6 million. Our friend Alan Kessler's in eighth place with 830,000. And another fantasy runner, Brian Yoon, is still in it to win it with 500,000 in 15th position. At 2 p.m., event number 83 will take off with day 2, the $1,500 PLO double bomb pot high only. And I don't know why I don't have any leaders written down. Sorry, folks, I'll look them up in a minute. Just to finish off the WSOP, event number 75 finished yesterday. That was the 10K 7-card stud high-low 8 or better tournament. 1.7 million in the prize pool, 29 got paid. Matt Graupenstein, no, let me just spell it. Grapenstien took home his second bracelet, 415,000. Jack Germain took home second for 277. Shout out to Caitlin Comiskey. She took fifth place for 97,000, and then she hopped over to that 8-game mix. So she's killing it this week, folks. Event number 73, the 5K 6-handed tournament, had 6.4 million in the prize pool. 211 got paid. Marcus Gronslaves took home first for 979,000. I'm just going to spell this person's name. It's XIAOYAOMA. took home second place and $653,000. Lucky Chewy's, a fantasy member of ours, took home 12th place for $58,000. So that's the WSOP in a nutshell. Go ahead, Matt.
Yes, I was just going to say, Shelley, I know this isn't really poker related, but in the NHL ice hockey, Alex Ovechkin has gone back to the Washington Capitals.
Oh, I have no clue of what you speak, but I will take your word for it.
Anyway, Sherry, I'm going to say it's been an absolute joy and privilege, as usual, to be on their spaces and seeing everybody. And ASG, I owe him one for the advice. Well, I've got a little bit of it written down anyway. But other than that, Sherry, seriously, thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
I appreciate you for sure, Matt. Always a pleasure chatting with you, my friend. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys, and you too as well. And hope you enjoyed the beach, Sherry. So, saw your picture. It looks amazing there.
It's awesome. Loving it. Loving life. I'm looking out my window. There's a sailboat with a red, blue, and yellow sail flowing right in front of my eyes right now. It's pretty cool. Loving life. Loving life. Okay, I looked up that $1,500. Go ahead, ASG.
Oh, I just wanted to say, also related to the WSOP, I believe their YouTube their YouTube coverage is complete, and so the main will be on ESPN Select for the live, and then there'll be the edited episodes on ESPN and ESPN2. But I don't believe there's going to be anything more on the WSOP YouTube channel.
Thank you for that update. Appreciate that. I'm sure not many people are going to be happy to hear that, but here we are. Okay, I looked at that $1,500 PLO double bump pot. It's actually day one of that event. So I, for some reason, put day two on there, but it's actually day one. So that's why I don't have any leaders yet, because it's just getting underway. So appreciate everybody's contributions for sure on that topic and those topics. ASG, Team Spacers, we're at 380th position. Are we mathematically out of this, or do we still stand a chance?
I mean, for that, I would need to know everybody else's team and how many points we could jump if our players get first or whatever place in the remaining events, including the main. But
you mean you don't have all that memorized yet? Come on, ASG.
I don't even know how many points our team has.
380, just for the record.
Okay.
Oh, no, not 380. That's wrong. We're in 380th position. I'm sorry, out of 1,200. Sorry, I had a mental breakdown there.
So how many points do we have?
We don't know. I didn't write that down. I just put our position.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
Perfect spot to insert some breaking news from Colette. She discovered on poker.org today that there is another fantasy competition just for the main event where you pick 3 players.
Right.
You pick 3 players, and we need to check that out. Mm-hmm.
You pick 3 players, and you can win a trip to Paradise in December. And I was going to do it, and then I was like, oh my God, if I win that package and then I plan a meetup game, I'm going to have to dish the meetup game to Isaac or somebody to host for me while I go to the Paradise. Oh, but we would know that way ahead anyway. But anyway, it would be fun. So win your chance to go down to Paradise, folks. Go to poker.org and enter their contest. All you have to do is pick 3 players that you think are going to possibly win the main or go furthest in the main event. So should be a fun contest to sweat.
I don't know if it's the same or different, but I was just looking. It said a 5K package to the Moneymaker Tour in Aruba. So I don't know.
Oh, thank you.
In September, it says. In September.
Oh, wait
Aruba in September.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. You see, this is why we need to check everything we say here. Check everything I say here. It is. Thank you. Oh, see, there you go. I can go in September. So it is a 5K Aruba package, including a ticket to the 400,000 guaranteed Moneymaker Poker Tour main event this September. So pick your team of 3 people, folks. That's on poker.org. That's just a fun thing, isn't it? That's a fun competition. Thank you for bringing that up, Joey. I did see that this morning, and uh, obviously I didn't read it all the way because I thought it was the WP or not the WPT, the WSOP in the Bahamas in December in Paradise. So, thank you. That happens when I'm rushing in the morning, trying to go on air, and I'm just trying to peruse all the emails and stuff before I get on air. But anyway, here we are. All right, you guys, let me see if I can get Scotty up here. Come on, Scotty. Hello, Scotty. Are you there, buddy? Okay. Look, Vegas horse. Oh, there he is. Okay, I was going to have these guys look to see what if he was a speaker or a listener because X is acting crazy. What's up, Scotty?
Not too much going on here in Vegas this morning. It's good to hear from you.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you joined us this morning. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be very interested in what you have to say. But before we get knee deep into it, I want you to tell us about you. So I know you live in Vegas, and tell us what you do for a living, so to speak.
What I do for a living is kind of long. But I'll give you the short version. My primary job is I work for Spanky. I am tech support for Spot Odds, his odd service that he has out for people to subscribe to. So that is my primary job. My secondary job is I gamble full time using obviously the Spot Odds odd service. And the third thing that I do, and I kind of do this more as a hobby than a job, is I run VHP Proxy, where I help people in the Circa
Right.
Contest. I do it. 90% of my customer base are friends or spot odds users. When we decided a couple of years ago, Spanky and I were talking about this, and when the decision was made that I was getting so many customer questions about the Circuit Contest at spot odds and where should you sign up and all of that. Spanky told me, he said, why don't you just start a business and start servicing these guys? That way, spot odds users can be spot odds users, and when they want to be in the Circuit Contest, they still come to me and I take care of it. And actually, I think I have probably the most impressive proxy service website where people actually get a username and
Okay,
a
wait.
password.
Before we get to that, I want you to explain what a proxy is.
Okay. A proxy is kind of an interesting idea. It's a legal loophole that Circa has to do to allow people outside the state of Nevada to be in the contest. So, for example, I never give away customer names, so I'm just going to say Mr. X, who lives in New Jersey, wants to be in the circuit contest. You must be in the state of Nevada to place your entries every week. But Mr. X lives in New Jersey and he has no intentions of coming to the state of Nevada every week to do that. So, what Circa has done has set up and allowed people to set up proxy services where Mr. X can tell me in the survivor pool this weekend he wants to play the Giants. I'm the one who physically enters the Giants. Therefore, it's legal because I'm in the state of Nevada. And this is something that Circa has in their rules about proxies, because if they didn't, it would basically only be people who lived in the state. This way, the circuit contest can be literally all over the world. And I literally have customers in multiple countries. So this is a big contest. And the signups are running ahead of they've ever ran before. So I expect this to be my biggest year ever in the contest.
Nice. Okay. Um, I want you, and the reason I'm bringing this up now instead of later is because you just kind of brought up that it's going to be probably your biggest year thus far. Do I remember a conversation with you and Fats, our beloved friend that we lost this week? Do I remember a conversation the two of you had where he actually talked you into charging only $100 for your services this year in hopes of building your customer base?
Yeah, he thought, and we argued about this for
I
multiple
think
hours,
so. I thought
and
I
he fin-
remembered that.
and he
Wait,
and
Fats
he
arguing with
finally,
somebody for multiple hours? I find this hard to believe.
yeah, yeah, I know this story is going to be really hard for most people to believe, but I think we would. Well, I finally surrendered, and I said, you know what? It's going to make life so much easier on me to make it a flat number, because my wife actually does some signups for me. So, for example, if you're on the strip today, I'm working today for Spanky on tech support, taking care of customers. I can't really leave my desk, so my wife would meet you and sign you
Right.
up, and it's going to be so much easier for her to have a single number. It's either $100 or it's $200 for the millions contest. So I finally said, Fats, you're right. I'll try it.
I love it. I thought about that the other morning when I was trying to gather some thoughts about this interview today. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I remember the two of them going back and forth about the fee you were going to charge this year. And I couldn't help but chuckle because, like ASG said, Fats argue. Come on, that's his middle name. His middle name, I think. But okay, I want you to tell us about your website now that folks know what a proxy is.
The website is, in my opinion, perfect. I had one of the spot odds programmers write it for me. You log on with your username and password. Once you log in and you enter your picks, the first thing that the system says is it wants to keep you in the loop. It wants you to know what's going on. So the minute you enter your picks, the system fires you an email and said, "Hey, this is what you picked." Now you've got a hard copy, you know where it's at. Now, when Friday comes around at 7 o'clock and I start entering the picks, then, after I enter your pick, not everybody's pick, but just your pick, the system recognizes the fact that I just finished doing that. And it sends you another email and it says, Circa has just accepted your picks. So now you know what you picked, what I believe you picked, and you know the system has just told you that Circa has accepted your picks. So you know you're good. And then the last part that it happens is probably the best part. For people in millions, let's say you go 4-1 this week. Well, you don't have to worry about what you went because the system's going to send you an email and said, this week you picked this team, this team, this team, and this team, and here's your record. You ended up being 4-1. Then you know without doing any work at all where you stand. The other cool thing about the system that I really like is I have the picks are all due at 7 o'clock at night on Friday. I don't have a late check-in time. If you need a later check-in time, I just can't help you because Saturday I have to do my support work for Spanky. I can't be entering picks on that day. So if you need a later check-in time, I'm sorry, just you're going to have to use somebody else. But one of the things the system does is it watches your account. And about noon, 1 o'clock, sometimes it goes as late as 2 o'clock. If you haven't sent your picks in yet, it just sends you a friendly reminder that you have not done it yet. And you enter your email address and your telephone number into the login page. There's a setup page you'll enter the first time you log on to my system. And it keeps a track of your email address. And about noon, between noon and 2 o'clock, if it's not seeing some activity from you, it'll just send you a friendly reminder. And then about an hour, hour and a half before the picks are due, it'll send you an SMS and say, hey, just want to remind you the picks are due. Because every single year, there's 1 week where everybody has a problem. They have something unexpected happen into their life, and the Circa Contest is not number one in their world, and the system just trying to remind you, hey, we got to get that in. So that's the way my system works. I think it works absolutely perfect, because every year I've made a slight change to it, but right now the system is perfectly locked in, and I could not be more proud of it.
Awesome. Very cool. Good for you. Um, how long you been doing that, Scotty? How long you been at Proxy?
I I think I started this 3 years ago. Maybe it was four. It was either 3 or 4 years ago. Time flies, when you're getting old. It seems like it was 3 or 4 years
Okay,
ago
very
though.
good. And why did you name it Vegas Horse Pools? Why is that the name?
But that's my Twitter name.
Okay,
Oh, where did that
yeah,
come?
where did that
Oh,
come
you want
from?
to know where that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you where it came from. This is kind of funny. I had no intentions of ever posting on Twitter, and I had to have a unique name. So the theory I came up with is I wanted to use 3 words and smash them together, because I thought I would be able to get a unique name and put my name on Twitter that way. So the most logical first name was Vegas, since that's where I lived. And then when I signed up for Twitter, I was a big horse player, and I played in the pool called the show pools. So it made perfect sense to me to be Vegas Horse Pools. And like I said, I never thought I would ever use the name. I just had to have a name to be able to sign on.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay, very good.
it means nothing,
Oh,
unfortunately.
no, that's okay. I'm just curious, right? It's unusual. And I was like, okay, there's got to be a story behind this. And I appreciate you sharing it with us for sure. Can you tell us what Bet Bash is?
Bet Bash is the greatest week of the year. And I got to say, I can't believe everybody in the world is not there. Ever since I went to Bet Bash number one, which was the one night event in New Jersey, there was something that told me I just had to go to that. And when I went to that afterwards, I talked to Spanky and I said, I'm never going to miss one of these, because this is the greatest thing in the world. And then he put on a show at Bet Bash 2 that was better. Bet Bash 3 was better. And if you look at the schedule for this year, this is going to be the best Bet Bash ever.
Okay, now I'm going to
And one of
stop you. I'm going to stop you because I
the,
want you to tell my audience what Bet Bash is.
oh, it is a get together of advantage players. Most of the players are sports bettors, but not all of them, because some of them are doing other things. But the primary focus is the sports bettors. And we hold it downtown at Circa. Circa is the biggest book probably in the United States in one location. And it is the ideal location to have the big meetup. There's going to be over 700
I
people
love
there
it.
this
All
year.
right, now I want you to explain to my listeners what do you do at or what does an attendee do at Bet Bash? What's going on at Bet Bash?
Well, here's what I think you should do. If this, I'll just tell you what I'm going to do.
Perfect.
I'm going to go to Bet Bash 2 days early. Bet Bash starts Tuesday night, is when registration is. I don't think you should come Tuesday night. I think you should be there Monday morning. The reason why, ever since Bet Bash 2, the very first Bet Bash in Vegas has been held, I've always thrown a luncheon on the Monday. And the very first one I had about 8 people there. Last year I had almost 70. And with the requests I'm getting this year, I'm fully expecting to have over 100 people at my lunch this year. I'm going to hold it for the first time ever on Monday and Tuesday. So we're going to have a luncheon at 11 o'clock on Monday. And then Spanky has told me his entire team from New Jersey will be at the Tuesday lunch. They're going to miss the Monday one because they're not going to land in time. But the Tuesday luncheon, if there's anybody on Spanky's team that you want to meet, they're going to be at my lunch. So if you want to meet any of those guys, let me know. And I'm going to have so many VIPs at this lunch. Pretty much anybody you want to meet is going to be there. Anybody that's famous, Twitter famous, they're going to be at this lunch. But what are the normal Bet Bash events? Spanky has seminars on one day. He has speed networking on one day. The speed networking, a lot of people believe, is the best event that Spanky throws. You sign up with your information and who you're looking to meet, and Spanky has hired an outside company. They put all of the people that sign up together and they say, this is the best 15 people for you to meet. And you've got 6 minutes with each one of these 15 people. It is it is, I think it's based on speed dating, which I've never done. I'm
Right.
too old for that. But it's apparently based on that. And it is the probably the most important thing you can do for your bankroll the entire year is going to that event because you're going to meet the right 15 people according to the computer. And if you can just make one introduction to somebody that will improve your game, it's worth the whole week of being there.
Right. And isn't there luncheons and dinners and the Hall of Fame induction
Oh,
ceremony? And are you guys doing a poker event this year?
unfortunately, there's something happened. I don't understand what it was. Something happened at the Golden Nugget or something, and Spanky wasn't able to pull off the poker event this
Okay.
year. We had a great poker event last year. I got knocked out in like the fifth or sixth hand. I got beat with a really really bad beat, but I had a great time with it,
Awesome.
and I was really really looking forward to playing this year. But something about remodeling or I can't tell you the story. I don't know the story, but something happened and he had to cancel the poker
No
card.
worries.
But my hope is it'll be back next year because a lot of people loved it. That event actually sold out. He wasn't able
Are they doing
to take any more people.
is he doing a golfing event this year?
The golf he wasn't able to do this year either.
Okay.
When the poker thing went down, he took out the golf, but that'll probably be back next year
Awesome.
also.
Awesome. Okay. And I know there's an induction dinner and ceremony, right?
That that is the last night of Bet Bash, and I would probably say this is the best night of Bet Bash. You get to go to a this is for VIP ticket holders. You get to go to a 4 or 5 serving dinner. You get to listen to all the people that are inducted this year into the Hall of Fame. There's Hall of Fame members scattered through the crowd. And here's the best part of it is after this party is done, all of everybody goes to the Legacy Club because Spanky has the Legacy Club rented out.
Right.
So it's just us. And we go up there, and I think the party closes at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Nice.
I can't remember because nobody leaves until it's over. So
Right.
whatever time that is, we call the Bet Bash week over at that time. But that Legacy Club night is really hard to beat. Being up there, being able to see the nice view of the city, and again, all the famous people on Twitter that you see in the sports betting world, they're all up
Of
there.
course.
And
Of course.
and everybody is so nice and willing to talk. I just cannot recommend this highly enough to people to go to it.
Now,
It is it's a beautiful time.
and I know you guys have breakout sessions where you have different speakers come in and talk about different topics. Are you going to be doing one of those breakout sessions?
Oh no, I don't do those.
Okay.
I no, I get to enjoy listening to them. I think there's 4 or 5 I can't remember what exactly we call them. Breakout sessions is the right word though, where it's a panel. I think Spanky calls them panels, where you get 3 to 5 experts on the topic up on the panel. I think there's going to be some talk about the prediction markets. There's going to be some about new inventive products. There's several of them. There's
Awesome.
one going to be one about touts too that I actually think may be a lot of fun to go listen to them argue about should touts exist or should they not.
Okay,
I am really looking for
for
that.
the sake of my listeners, explain what a tout is.
Oh, a tout is somebody who sells you picks. So they don't actually bet it for you, but for example, let's say I didn't know anything about the NFL and I just wanted to know somebody's picks. So I would get a hold of them and pay them, and they would tell me what the right
Very
side to
good.
bet is.
Very good. Thank you.
So
Um,
so you have to know, is that worth your money? And most people think it's not, and it's probably not.
right. Okay. ASG, I see your hand up. Go ahead, buddy.
Okay, so yeah, gonna have a similar question to what we're having with the main this year. People are saying, "Oh, crypto's down, and you got the 90% tax and whatever, and the economy is whatever." So, and then you add to that the whole splash sports competition. So, do you expect the survivor pool to be a new record or slightly lower or a lot lower? What's your prediction?
I think it's going to be much higher. I don't think any of the events you're talking about are going to affect the number. The 90% tax problem, I personally believe it's going to go away. I think they're going to get that solved. I don't think that's really an issue. Crypto is crazy. I fully admit that. I personally don't hold any because I'm not into that kind of volatility. I don't think that's a big deal. Circa has the name and Circa has the prestige. Everybody wants to be on that particular contest. Do I think Splash is going to do well? I think they're actually going to do very, very well. But I don't think Splash is going to hurt Circuit at all. I think a rising tide lifts all boats. And I think that's where we're living right now. And especially the poker players here in Vegas, the one thing a lot of people don't realize is you don't have to go downtown to Circuit to sign up for the contest. For example, if a poker player called me right now and said, "Hey, I'm at the Horseshoe and I want to sign up for the Circuit contest, what time can you meet me?" The first thing I would say to him is, "Don't meet me at the downtown. That's too far for you. There's a Tuscany that nobody apparently knows about, 2 blocks from the strip where you can sign up, and it's so much easier, and the parking's easier and everything." I don't think Circa is going to have any problems this year at all because of the advantages, the building advantages that they have. But that doesn't mean Splash is going to do bad.
And but
I think they're going to
And
do very well.
do you think it's going to be the same winner or winners on Splash and Circa for the Survivor this year?
I really don't think. I don't think they'll even be similar, because the problem with Survivor is this. I will agree. This is a skill-based contest. But there is a lot of luck involved in this, a tremendous amount of luck. Remember last year we had the one week where I think it was one of the short weeks, one of the extra weeks that Circa has, and all 4 dogs won. Well, it takes a lot of guts to play the dog in a straight up contest like that. So you got to have a little bit of luck and all of that. So no, I do not think there'll be somebody who wins both of them. I don't even think it's possible. Well, I should say it's possible. I'd be strongly betting against it.
and by the way, the Tuscany is beautiful. I've been there the first time last week, and it's really nice. I was pleasantly surprised, for sure. Nice place.
I was actually told by somebody who works there that it is the busiest place for the sports book
Oh,
on the
interesting.
strip, or something like that. Maybe it's the busiest location off the strip.
Right.
Maybe that's what it was. Because the place is
Yeah,
beautiful.
it is.
It's easy in, it's easy out. They've got great food. I can't say one thing bad about the
Yeah, it
Tuscany.
was beautiful,
Uh,
clean. I mean, it
yeah.
really is very nice. I was impressed for sure. No doubt about it. Okay, for my listeners' sake, explain what an advantage player is.
Oh, it's somebody that not only thinks they're going to win, but they have the mathematical edge to win. An advantage player in like blackjack would be like a card counter or somebody like that. An advantage player in slots would be somebody that only plays the progressive when they're at a certain number. In sports, it means you have a model that can beat the house. That's what an advantage player That's the definition of
Thank
an
you.
advantage player.
Appreciate that. Now, what do you bet all the sports or do you focus on certain sports?
No, I bet absolutely everything. I'm crazy. Everything.
Are you a sharp?
I think I am. I don't think I'm a sharp. No. What I think I am is I'm above average, and I do make a nice living being above average.
Nice. Do you have a favorite sport to bet?
Not to bet, but to watch. I'm a big college football fan.
Me
But
too.
as far as a favorite to bet, no, I don't have a favorite. But college football, I think, before the NIL rules came in, I think was the greatest sport in the
I know
world.
NIL is
Now,
ruining it.
yeah, and now I'm wondering if it's not professional football on Saturday.
Right. And
So
who's your
I
favorite
don't know.
college team?
No, there is only one college team. It's Nebraska.
Oh my God. Thank God you didn't say Ohio because I'd have to steal the mic and hit the eject button. When you said there's only one, I was like, oh no, it's an Ohio fan. Oh Lordy. Well, I have to let you slide on the Nebraska because my son-in-law is a Nebraska fan, so we'll just let it be, I guess.
I'm just surprised when people say they're not because I can't believe everybody's not a
Oh
Nebraska fan.
Lord, it's getting
So
deep in
it's
here.
hard. It's just hard for me to understand. But yeah, college football is really the sport I enjoy the most. I mean, I watch most of the sports,
Right.
but yeah, college football is where
It
it's at.
might have something to do with them not being relevant since like Eric Crouch
Oh,
existed.
oh, oh, shots fired.
Well, there's been a small problem the last 20 some years, but they'll be back.
Well, and here's a story you might appreciate. My son in law, like I said, is a Nebraska fan. And of course, my daughter is a 4-time All American Lady Vol. And they actually got engaged at halftime of the Nebraska Tennessee game in Nashville. It was a bowl game a few short years ago. I think it's about 8, 9 years ago now. So there's a story for you.
Wow, that's cool. I think that's really gutsy getting married on a Nebraska football Saturday. I went to I went to a wedding that had to pitch around the Nebraska game in 1997, and I'll never forget that day because it was the day they played Missouri, and they had that problem that they had to win at the last second. And I remember the bride saying when we were watching the game there, she said, "I really made a mistake picking this today, the wedding day today, because what if they lose?
Yeah.
It's going to be the worst day in the world."
Yeah.
And then I have to share a wedding day with that. I think it's a huge mistake.
Yeah, you really don't want to schedule a wedding during football season when it's college football season. And here I have a son who's done just that. And honestly, I didn't even look at the schedule because they moved the date to October 24th because that was the birthday of the bride to be's grandmother who passed away a few months ago. So I was like, okay, I can't look at the football schedule now because it would be disrespectful to grandma. But we definitely will, have some iPads if we need to. I'm just putting that out there. Yeah. So, and I'm not looking it up. I promise I'm not. And don't anybody DM me it either. I'm trying to
Well,
be nice about it.
well, what I did when I decided to get married, I thought I'm going to pitch out of the season. So I told my wife I wanted to get married the last day of the second quarter, which is June 30th. So I'm completely out of the season. There's no Nebraska
All right.
football conflicts. I really think that's what people should do because I can't imagine being married on the day Nebraska lost. That would just be too
That's
much.
hilarious. That is so funny. All right, let's go back to proxying. What contests do you proxy for?
Only Circa. The Circa Millions, the Circa Survivor, and the Grand Misio if somebody wants to sign up for that one. That's the only ones I do. Um, Westgate, I don't exactly understand what is happening at theirs right now, given the fact that you probably call it Superbook. I still call it Westgate because Caesars is taking over that
Right.
property when football season starts. So I don't really know what's going on there, but I don't proxy for that one anyway. What I mainly do is sign people up. Most of my customers sign up for the service during Bet Bash week when everybody's downtown
Right.
because it's just so easy.
Right.
And a lot of people sign up on my luncheon days. My wife will be downtown. She'll probably be at the D or Circa to sign people up, and then they go there to meet up with her when they get done eating lunch
Right.
or before or something. It just makes it so
Of
easy.
course.
And like I said, that's the kind of people that generally use my service.
Now, do you get paid by Circa?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay. And so I don't I don't know if we covered it in full or not. Is there anything else you want to talk about as far as your services that you provide, how someone gets it done or contacts you, or is there anything we've missed that you want to make sure people know about that?
Okay, well, I'm very easy to contact. I'm on Twitter at Vegas Horse Pools. I run the Spot Odds tech support, which is Real Spot Odds on Twitter. I'm really easy to get a hold of. If you're an email person, I'm VegasHorsePools at gmail.com. And my wife will help me with signups. You'll find that the signup process is really easy with me because really the only thing that happens is we just have to sign our name on the dotted line for Circa, and I give you a website and let you enter your information on that whenever you're ready. So it's a very, very simple process. And if you just give me an hour or two notice, especially if you want to meet at Tuscany, I'll be there or my wife will be there to help you. So that's kind
Very
of the best thing to say.
accommodating. Yep, very accommodating. And for those have heard me talk about it, I met up with Scotty the other day. My boys wanted to do a team for the survivor pool. So I met up with him because, of course, I live in Georgia. And so none of us will be here weekly to place the bets or place the turn in our team, winning team pick. And so met up with Scotty. I would say it probably took 10 minutes. And most of those 10 of minutes, it was the circus staff at the sports book filling, typing my information into the computer. So it's a pretty quick process. I still have to go onto his website, on Scotty's website, and sign in for the first time, which I will get to in the next week or two when I get home. But everything has been very easy. Scotty's very accommodating. He explains everything because you guys know I know jack shit about all this. And so he's very accommodating and will explain stuff and repeat stuff for people like me. And yeah, so is there anything else you want to tell us about Scotty?
Yeah, there is one thing I want to tell you.
Perfect.
When you sign up on my website and enter your information, it's going to ask for your birth year. Let me tell you why I asked for that. That is the default password for your Circa entry. So I need your birth year to be able to log into the account and then change the password. It's the only reason I care what year you were born in. So I get that question every year, and I always think it's funny. So I just thought I would tell you. No, I don't care how old you are. What I care is I can get into that account because
That's hilarious.
they have to set that up as the default password. So I just wanted you to know that's why I'm asking you for that when you sign up.
I love it. All right, you guys. I'm going to come to ASG and Joey and see if they have any questions or comments. I see ASG's biting at the bit. Go
Yeah.
ahead, buddy.
Well, yeah, not a question, but just wanted to show about the link between poker and these pools. That one of the big winners of the Survivor pool last year was Galen Hall, who had two teams that were active, and he was on like Pablo Torre finds out, explaining the whole theory behind how to pick teams and stuff, and why you would pick underdogs and that kind of thing in certain situations.
Yeah,
I love that.
there were several really, really large teams that bought a lot of entries, and I did hear that there was some poker players involved in those, but I got to admit I did not know any names. But yeah, you're definitely right. There is a strategy, but here's the thing: If you've only got one entry, you don't have a whole lot of strategies. The thing is, if you have 25 entry, now you've got some time to do some strategy work. And my understanding, there were several poker players that had a huge amount of entries.
Right on. Right on. ASG, did you have anything else, buddy?
Well, even if you have one entry, there is EV strategy in terms of if you're picking the same team that you know everybody else is picking, then the rest of the pool isn't going to decrease when with your pick if you're right. So, like, yeah, there is some strategy to it, even if you're picking one team besides just like having the feeling of the game. But anyway, I'm getting into the weeds.
Well, I don't think you're getting into the weeds at all. Let's imagine that there's 10 people left, and I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that all the other 9 people are going to pick one team. Yeah, I'm going to pick the other team and take my shot because my equity is only 10% if I go with them, but my equity suddenly can become 100% if I'm right and get this dog to win. So yeah, that is a strategy you could use. The problem is Survivor. When you got 10 people left, nobody's going to be that accommodating to you to stack up like that. So even if I had the dog and I had 5 of those people on the other side, there's still 4 people left to fight, and I had to fight them with the dog. You got to be careful. There's a lot of strategy to this game.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, Joey, any questions or comments for Scotty?
No, but I wanted to say thank you, Scotty, for clarifying it in a way that my brain can work. Like I grew up going to horse tracks, so I'm very familiar with parimutuel wagering, and also I've studied advantage slot play. So the way you explained it really resonated in my brain. Thank you so much.
Did you ever play negative horse schools?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And especially like if I recognize like a horse was a mudder and it was a rainy night, like magical things happen in the rain and the mud. And but people don't see that sometimes. They just human nature is just to go with the favorites. And there's a lot of money to be made in those underdogs.
Yeah, I used to specialize in negative horse schools. I used to love that because I actually had a program that I wrote that would suck in the track pools would suck in the track pools and tell me exactly how much to bet on every horse to guarantee a winner. And I was able to rack up a tremendous amount of comps because the comps are so high on horse racing. At least they
Right.
were when I was doing this. So yeah, I used to just feast on those things. And I did it with very little risk since I had this program that I'd written in the back end to tell me exactly how much to bet. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And that's a lot of the reasons why my name is Vegas Horse Schools, because I mean it just kind of fits.
It really does. And like I never even thought of it that way, but now it's like all these light bulbs are going off in my head. And I believe it or not, I've never wagered a single sports bet, but I think I'm ready now, you know. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And anybody who's listening that wants to say, "Hey, I want to give negative horse pools a try," it's been dead for at least 3 or 4 years. I think I quit 5 years ago, and it is completely dead now with computerized betting. So I would definitely not recommend being in that game. It's a good story to hear about, but it's nothing you can use today, unfortunately. And if you could, I'd still be doing it.
Well, and I'm just going to say we're not here to promote betting people, but if you choose to bet, you do it at your own risk and game responsibly, people, game responsibly. Go ahead, ASG.
So speaking of gaming responsibly, when it comes to the other Circa pool, the pick the five games one, as if you're somebody who has one entry, I know in fantasy sports it's very like you don't have a chance because all these people with their programs they know who's going to be the more and less popular pick and this kind of thing. So like is like do you still quote unquote have a chance as a like just uh amateur person picking out with one set of teams, or is it really the conglomerates and stuff that really are going to win all the money?
I would say an individual person certainly does have a chance, but here's the problem. You have one entry out of thousands. So even if every single entry had the exact same amount of chance, you've got almost no chance because of your one out of 1,000. Where somebody who has 100, even if the entries are equal, they've got 100 times better chance than you because they have 100 tickets. It's just like the lottery. Would you rather have one lottery ticket or would you rather have 100? Well, if you want to win it, you're probably going to be on the 100 side. But that doesn't mean the one guy can't win. It's just he's not a favorite by any stretch of the imagination. But I do highly recommend that. And as you're talking about the pool distribution, about who bets what. I actually run a Twitter Space show on Saturdays at 4 o'clock, right as soon as Circa closes the doors and no more entries can be put out or put into the system. Adam Bjorn, a really good friend of mine, and we go live on Twitter Spaces and we talk about the distribution of the pools. And not only do I tell what my customers do, I never say a customer's name, and I wouldn't even admit it. Sherry was a customer, but she said it, not me. I won't tell customers' names, but I will say that 72% of my guys in Survivor this week had the Green Bay Packers. And then Adam comes on and he says, well, the books that I control, the specifically Bet Chris in Arizona, and he's got Prime in, what is it, New Jersey and Ohio and maybe Kentucky. He said the amount of business we're writing, 72 or 75% of the money in that game is also on the Packers. So those are in alignment. So it's a really good show we do at 4 o'clock Pacific time on Saturday. We run through it right after the Circa doors close so that what we say you can't use in the contest. We're just reporting on what the contest happened. And then Jeff Benson and Derek and those guys, they do their show at either 6 or 7 o'clock Pacific time, and they do the same thing we do.
Awesome. 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 All right, you guys. I'm going to let Scotty off the hook and we're going to move on with our day because everybody needs to get outside and, feel the raindrops if it's raining. Let the sunshine kiss your cheeks if it's sunny out today. If you're on the felt, good luck. If not, get outside, touch that grass. Scotty, it's been great to gather some more information about the sports betting world and learn more about you, buddy.
Hey, I'm so honored that you let me be on today. It was a lot of fun. And if you ever need any more information about the contest or anything at all here in Vegas, just let me know and I'll be glad to help you.
I appreciate that. And good luck this football season. And, boo Nebraska,
Wait a
boo the corn cobs.
Well, not exactly. But with that, I am going to have to get back to work for Spanky. He's got a list here that I got to accomplish. So I'm going to drop down, and I thank you very much for your
Perfect.
time.
Thank you. And take care, buddy.
Goodbye.
Take care. Bye. That is Scotty with Vegas Horse Pools. Appreciate his time today during his busy time for sure. He's trying to get ready for the Circa events and Bet Bash and all that fun stuff. So definitely appreciate Scotty's time today, as well as Joey's and ASG's time today. Appreciate you guys. If you've been listening today, appreciate you as well. If you listen in the future, much appreciate that as well, you guys. I'm going to jump off because the beach is calling my name, and so is my granddaughter. So
I'm
tomorrow I'll
saying it's
probably be
130 here. I'm staying inside.
well. I'm only going outside because I can be in the water nice and cool. Believe me, trust me when I say it. It's only because I can get in the water that I will be outside today. But I appreciate everybody. And tomorrow I may actually be coming from the poolside or the beach because we have decided that Gigi having to do this space every day is getting in the way of our fun. So I said tomorrow we will do it from wherever you guys want to go to, and not allow it to take a chunk out of the part of the day that baby JC is still fun and having fun, not exhausted. So, anyway, all right, you guys, appreciate y'all. Have a great day. And we will catch up with everybody on the flip side. Much love. You get a chip and you get a